Hey guys, it's Phantom here, and welcome back to a brand new video, everyone. So, in today's video, I am pretty much going to be going over Wizard101 walkthroughs as a whole, and how they have kind of changed just as like a type of content on YouTube for the last couple years, why you don't see really as many of them, and why your favorite WizTuber has most likely quit theirs. So, pretty much ever since the game's release, walkthroughs, more specifically Wizard101 walkthroughs, of course, have been one of the main sources of content just on YouTube in general. They have just kind of played a very big role in the success of many different content creators, and have definitely contributed to the game's success as a whole, and have given the Wiz fanbase, I guess I would say, kind of something to chew on. My point is, everyone is aware of Wizard101 walkthroughs and how they have been a popular form of Wiz content for quite a while, and of course they used to be much more popular, but the point is, like, Wizard101 walkthroughs, they're classic. They are just the classic Wiz content. You know, it's literally just someone going throughout the game and just playing the game and progressing, and, you know, probably in the process teaching you how to play better as well, and of course different ways to play the game. I mean, you know, when you look at them objectively, they're a pretty beautiful thing. For a time, they were most definitely the most consumed Wiz content on YouTube. I think that really is just a fact, with, of course, the rise of some of the more popular WizTubers like Blaze and Blue, of course, right, with their walkthroughs as well. I'm sure a big portion of the Wiz fanbase remembers, you know, those times, and they were really good times back then. Those walkthroughs were just, I mean, kind of super hype, right? They did super well. A bunch of people watched them. It was an all-around good time. So we have just, of course, established that Wizard101 walkthroughs themselves were kind of one of the more prominent forms of Wiz content for a while, but I think really as the game has kind of started to, you know, die off a little bit, the player base has gotten definitely quite a bit smaller. Well, you don't really see that many walkthroughs, I would say, nowadays. There are definitely people out there that are still doing them and that are inspired to do them and everything, but you don't see a whole lot of them, and most of all, you really don't see a whole lot of popular walkthroughs. The closest thing that I can think of that even really comes close to the term of popular walkthrough that is, you know, currently happening right now is definitely Blaze and Terra's life and death walkthrough, right? That's probably the most popular one that's going on right now, I'm pretty sure, because, like, at the end of the day, right, it is Blaze. And then I would probably say Ferrick's walkthrough would come next, you know, his Wizard101 on a budget walkthrough, probably, in terms of views. And then I know, like, Blake PvP did some sort of walkthrough thing a while ago. Not sure if that's actually still going, but I haven't really heard much about that since. But, you know, those are kind of some of the more popular ones nowadays. I can't really think of any, you know, WizTubers with like a decently large following that are conducting walkthroughs right now, or really are at least not doing them very consistently. And I think I definitely fall into that category of WizTubers, right, with a little bit of a following that have definitely, you know, started a walkthrough, but eventually, you know, it kind of just tapered off after a while, with it never actually being finished. Now, I really do see this time and time again with a lot of WizTubers, obviously, right? Ferrick has kind of gone from posting, right, like quite a bit of his walkthrough to only posting, I don't know, the last time he posted was like, actually, no, it probably wasn't too long ago, now that I'm thinking back to it. I think the last time he posted was like a week ago or something like that, but before that, it was kind of like a once a month thing, right? And then I believe Fairy Queens had a walkthrough as well that ended, and then Blue's walk, I mean, obviously, like, Blue quit the game, right? I think that's a different situation entirely, but let me try to think of another one. Oh yeah, Kaiser Noah as well. He also had a walkthrough. I believe it was a balanced walkthrough that went for like just a ton of episodes. He quit that too eventually, or at least like stopped it for now. But yeah, a lot of these walkthroughs for a lot of these big WizTubers are on hold or have just completely stopped entirely, and many people kind of wonder as to why this actually happened. As for me, I have gotten so many questions pertaining to why I actually stopped my Wizard101 and Pirate101 walkthroughs, and I'm sure many other WizTubers and, I don't know, pirate YouTubers have gotten very, very similar questions from their audiences, because, I mean, it kind of makes sense, I guess, from an audience's perspective, right? I mean, they're not actually the ones making the content, they are the ones, right, that are consuming it, that are watching it. So, I mean, there's just really like a whole nother side. This is a really cool fountain. There's a whole nother side in terms of roles being played, right, when it just comes to putting this content out and then people watching it, right? I mean, there's two totally different perspectives, because of course, you know, you've got the producer and then the consumer as well. The consumer might have an idea as to the process by which, you know, whatever content gets produced, but until they actually try it out for themselves, they will never really truly get it, because, you know, they just haven't experienced it for themselves. It's really as simple as that. So that kind of brings me to my first point as to pretty much why you don't see a lot of Wizard101 walkthroughs nowadays and why a lot of people quit them, and that is simply because it takes a lot of effort. When you post that episode 1 of the Wizard101 walkthrough, I mean, you're signing yourself up for a fucking experience, man, and that is, of course, if you actually decide to continue the walkthrough, but it really is a commitment. It is a huge commitment to your time, especially because you got to realize that since it is a walkthrough, well, people are probably going to, well, watch the episodes pretty fast and are going to want to, you know, see more and more episodes, and this is kind of purely for the reason that people want to see progression, people want to see development. So if you're not getting out that content quick enough, well, I mean, your audience and viewership is going to dwindle, most likely. It's kind of just the fact of the matter. So of course you've got the fact that you pretty much need to post the walkthrough consistently if you want to retain like any sort of collective group of viewers watching the video. And then of course there is editing that goes into it, there is creating thumbnails, right, there's the actual recording and just the kind of sitting through the whole thing and all of the gameplay, and a lot of that just really does take hours and hours of time. And don't forget, right, a full game walkthrough, I mean, that is very, very long. If you guys didn't realize already, Wizard101 is a very, very long game. There is definitely hundreds of hours of gameplay that you can pursue in this game. There is a whole lot to do. There seriously is. So when you start a walkthrough, I mean, that's gonna take some time, right? That's gonna last a while, and you are definitely gonna be working your ass off if you want to get it out just like pretty frequently. What I'm trying to get at is it will be a very, very daunting task for you if you are not prepared for it and prepared to put in just the work and effort that goes into it. It's the simple fact of the matter. Now, you really do see a lot of people actually quit their walkthroughs because they simply can't keep up. It's a lot to take in. It really is. It is truly an understandable thing. You know, it's the same thing, right? It's kind of the same thing when you abandon questing a character because you simply don't want to. You're not really enjoying yourself, and the work that you put in, well, you just don't really recognize that as kind of worth your time anymore. And it is a sad thing, but I think we can all agree that it is very, very possible to get burnt out on this game. Now, imagine playing this game and then on top of that actually taking the effort to record and just make and post quality content. I mean, it's kind of really insane when you think about it. So yes, content creation in general can be stressful, but especially when you really do have a situation like this where you're trying to do a full-on walkthrough of just a really, really big game. I mean, God, a lot of times it's just not plausible, man. It's not plausible at all. So anyways, I've already established that point, right, that it's a lot, man. It really is. So another thing that I did want to talk about, though, is the fact that Wizard101 walkthroughs, well, they're just simply not as popular as they used to be. Not as many people want to watch walkthroughs. Now, I mean, why is that the case? Well, simply put, it's because times are a-changin', man. This game has changed quite a bit from when it first came out, and the audience and whatever the audience wants to watch has most certainly changed as well. And I mean, time and time again, I have seen and observed on my own videos as well as some other people's that not as many people are just turning out for the walkthroughs. It's just they don't want to see them. It's as simple as that, really. Now, you could attribute this, and some people probably will, to the game's smaller player base, or at least smaller than it was a few years ago, and then, right? Lower viewership on the walkthroughs would be like as a result of that, but I really don't think that is the case because other forms of Wiz content are still getting lots and lots of views. So why not walkthroughs? Well, like I said, times are changing, interests are changing, new content, right, is put out, and of course, everything is just influenced by time. So as time progresses and the game's lifespan increases, and I believe Kaiser Noah actually mentioned this in one of his previous videos where he talked about how Wizard101 as a whole on YouTube and how it's like changed drastically and stuff like that. I think that was the title, in fact, but he mentioned how walkthroughs, well, they're just not as popular anymore because people have just seen it all before. Like it's just been done so many times over and over and over, just been pounded into the faces of just anyone who wants to watch Wiz content, and people are just tired of it and they want something new, they want something fresh. So if you take into consideration the fact that Wizard101 walkthroughs take a lot of effort to create and produce, as well as the fact that you're gonna have a smaller viewer turnout just because people aren't as interested in really watching someone go through the game, well, it's just really no surprise that your favorite WizTuber has quit their walkthrough. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much gonna be it for this video. I don't really know what else to say. I think I've made my point pretty clear, so I hope you guys, well, I hope you guys understand, I guess, and I hope I could give you some insight kind of into the world of creators, and yeah, that's pretty much it though. Make sure to leave a like if you guys did enjoy. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments down below, as, of course, I try to read most of the comments on my videos, and I'd really like to hear all of your guys' thoughts and opinions just on this topic, especially because I think it really is kind of a big thing, right, in the Wiz community, of course. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe as well to the channel. That would help me out immensely, so thank you to anyone who does that as well. But anyways, guys, I will see you all in the next video or stream, whenever that may be, so take care and peace out.